So we're here on the Millennium Falcon ride at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Orlando, Florida, and I just wanted to reflect a bit about nerds and geeks because we've been watching The Big Bang Theory, all the episodes ever since we were in Germany and Austria this summer, and now returned back to Florida. We're finishing up the last season of the entire run, and of course you know that Sheldon and the gang would love to be here. And I'm thinking about all the references in that show and how we geek out when we watch it. And I wanted to say that I'm really proud of geeks and nerds because having been a geek and a nerd my whole life, I realized that we were isolating ourselves and building community at the same time through our references to various so-called trivia that we didn't find to be trivial at all. And what we were fighting is what we perceived in our communities and our schools to be real trivia, the stuff that they were teaching us in our classrooms that we thought would be useless, the names and dates of famous generals and battles and famous conquerors and exploiters, kings and emperors and presidents who we didn't feel were preparing the way for a bright future for us. We were much more happy with Star Trek and Star Wars and other speculative sci-fi fiction that boldly went where nobody had gone before and that told stories of possibilities a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, with the implication that there was life and stories to be told far beyond the prosaic, mundane environments that we grew up in and were forced to adapt to in our school system. And those of us who were geeks and nerds would define ourselves by our alliance, our allegiance to what they called nerdy concepts of science and technology and futurism, art and music that celebrated expansions of human consciousness. And by doing so, we would be looked at in a really bad way by most of the so-called normal kids in the school who wanted to fit in to a system that had already defined what the trivial things were and what trivia you needed to know to be a member of that normal society under the bell curve. So we were outliers on the fringes of the normal curve, and they called us abnormal, and we got teased a lot until the Revenge of the Nerds era began, when the computer information era really began to honor and celebrate the contributions of geeks and nerds to the overall economy. And even now, school kids are trying to redefine themselves based on bewildering sets of trivia, whether you know all the songs of Taylor Swift or Beyonce, or you know various sports heroes. But we nerds and geeks were willing to sacrifice acceptance by the majority of our friends, majority of our community, in order to find non-trivial trivia. And I was just outside talking to one of the park people who stands and takes pictures of the Millennium Falcon with families, and I said that my son, Nye, had said, "Hey Daddy, there's a big spaceship there." And I'd said, "Gee, what spaceship is that?" And he thought I might not have known and said with a sort of scowl, "It's the Millennium Falcon." And I said, "No, I know, I'm teasing my son. I think he knows too that it's the Millennium Falcon, and he knows many of the other, the TIE fighter and the X-Wing fighter." And you might say, well, that is trivia. Like, who cares? Isn't it just a big spaceship? Well, no, it's more than that. It's the attempt to bring people together around possibility. The attempt to build a culture around the fantastic and the enlarged ideas that, when reduced to trivia, is not a trivial pursuit. It's a way of looking at reality that embraces an intra and extra dimensional cosmology that lends us then into the MCU and the DCU, the multiverse, the Spider-Verse, the world of the television show and the novel Dark Matter. So much of what Sheldon and the others, are Leonard and Howard and the others are doing in that show is showing us that when they go to the comic book store, when they go to the movies, when they sit and play Dungeons and Dragons, when they're conversing, they're finding a language that allows for big ideas and the details, the small pieces that, like atoms, like molecules, can construct a new and better reality. So it's really fun to be here with our 4-year-old. He's over 40 inches for the first time in his life. He's over 40 inches, so he can go on all these Star Wars rides here. Millennium Falcon, Rise of the Resistance, Star Tours. He'll be able to go on Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror, and that's exciting too. When we were in Vienna, Austria this summer, we went to the Plata, which is one of the oldest theme parks in the world, and he went on 2 very scary haunted house dark rides with zombies and all sorts of blood and gore, and he loved them. He cried at the beginning of the first one, and then he got over it, and then he got excited and engaged, and then he was like, I want to go on another one. And so he's dealt with his existential fears that children go through theme park rides that celebrate the fantastic, the macabre, and now he's totally ready for this Disney Star Wars experience. And he's been watching The Big Bang Theory with us. He sings the song and he dances. He's picking up a lot of the vocabulary, and all we're hoping for is that he, in this generation, does not get marginalized or alienated for his enduring fascination with science, with technology, with utopian thinking, with dreaming big, with justice, liberty, concepts of resistance to empire. He is half Palestinian and half Irish, Iraqi, Lebanese, Spanish, French, German, and so he's heard the stories in the family of how his great-grandfather, my grandfather, Jiddo, was imprisoned by the British Empire and was part of the rebel resistance as a young lawyer in Iraq defending justice. And then the British Empire threw him in jail for the first 3-4 years of my mother's life, his Tata, his grandmother. And he's heard those stories, so that my mother didn't have a father in her life except when she visited the jail to bring flowers and such for very limited visits. He knows that he would have missed the first 3-4 years with me if we were engaged in such a resistance against the empire. So that was within our lifetimes, this need for resistance against the empire and our witness to how the empire strikes back. We had heard from my grandfather's side of the family how my great-grandfather had to come here as a child to flee the British Empire's imposition of a famine on Ireland, what they called, what was really the great tragedy, food in Ireland, but the empire wouldn't let us eat it. So now here we are in this incredible environment, and you can see that this kind of fantasy.
How could that have happened? We don't even deliver iron disruptors. They're illegals, you know that. Ship them. Well, I had a bad feeling about that last group, but this is the group I've been waiting for years. Come in. I have an opportunity for you all that is bad, dangerous. I was going to say profitable. You think I'm so heartless I would send my friends to danger? You insult my honor. Really, I'm very little honor to insult.
What incredible audio animatronics. I mean, really the robotics are getting quite exciting. So that the pre-show is really inviting you not just to see a science fiction future, but to think of the real future we're facing with AI and robotics.
This is a market transport solutions. Today, I am offering the opportunity of a lifetime. I need flight crews to transport this valuable merchandise across the galaxy. Pilots to navigate, engineers to operate the ship, and gunners to defend the shipments. That is where you come in. The Millennium Falcon. Oh no, for some very fast and very profitable expeditions. You are my fine friend. Yes, as Henry, you let us use the ship. We'll get you the supplies you need. I get those profits. The first one will never know we were there. Okay, time to go, so bye-bye. We're gonna go before he changes his mind. Move along, my friends.
Move along, move along. Entering the ship, we're going to take our positions, and imagine what it does to a little guy like this when he's asked by this very realistic robotic intelligence what position he wants to be. A gunner. We're not so proud about that. We hope that we can turn Star Wars into Star Peace, but he's going to think through all these issues. And then what's the other position? Engineer, pilot, gunner, and that's it? What? Those are the ones. So at this age, at 4, he's going to begin to consider what does the future bring in terms of various job opportunities and how can he help navigate the stars. And that's completely within his reach now. Okay, so we're waiting right here.
Yes,
He's with us.
stay with us.
Okay, back up a little bit.
Okay, so
All right.
pilots, gunners, and engineer.
Pilots, gunners, and
Make
engineers.
your way all the way inside the Falcon. Good luck. All right, I'm doing it right here.
We have 5.
5. Okay, I'm gonna have 2 of you pilots. You're gonna stand right there.
Okay, that's
2 gunners right here, my friend.
what, Nate? And I'm going to be an engineer.
Okay, so it's gonna be pilots, gunners, and engineer. We'll get going in just a moment.
Alrighty.
Okay, nice. You wanna shoot me?
And of course, we hope that he will study engineering in some way. So I've always felt that theme parks were far more important
Through a
than
5
people.
after time, make your way all the way inside. Good
All
luck.
right, here we go. Good
I'm doing
luck
great. Have you
indeed.
three right here. Don't move yet. So, I need 2 pilots right here.
So there's the famous table where Luke Skywalker and Chewbacca played a game of holographic chess, which is really spectacular to see. Pretty cool, huh? You like it now? All right, Nye. Now you're inside the Millennium Falcon spaceship. Is that cool? Yeah. So what absolute fun. I mean, imagine that the great thing about these theme parks, and this goes back to the 1950s when Disney first opened Disneyland, and I went and visited it in the 60s. So I've had a long history visiting this and many other theme parks. We came here shortly after Disney World had opened in Florida. But the idea that your imagination is completely captivated and that you have these tie-ins from the movies and the comic books and the books and the toys and everything else.
All right, so left and right, you're up and down, hold on, go up. Now guys,
Engineer. Okay, I'm happy to.
It lights up, you guys will click it. Now, yeah, we need the bags on. We need to take the bags out.
I can imagine that for Nye, this is very realistic. This is his first time because he was not tall enough and old enough to do any of this in all of his previous visits to the various theme parks he's been to around the world. He's been to quite a few, but now he's of that age where, especially after watching Big Bang Theory this whole summer, he's totally into it. So let's see what happens here.
All right, guys.
Intercepting a first-order train shipment of coaxium. Gunners, you clear the path. Pilots, line up
Here's what you
behind
gotta
the
do,
train.
Nye.
And engineers, you harpoon that precious cargo.
Oh, there's an
Now get the
engineer.
move on.
I'm an
And
engineer,
know that I
Nye.
have complete faith
What are
in
you? Let me see what you are.
I am coming along.
What are you?
Just in case.
You're a gunner. It says a gunner. Okay. Okay. So
Por favor, permanezcan sentados y
you.
cuide a los niños.
Oh, look.
Gracias.
Look, nice. Engineer where?
Any of these things.
Any of these seats. Okay, I'll be behind Nye. Oh, you guys got the front seat. That's so cool.
Can you please buckle in here?
Let's see if I can buckle. Ashley, would you hold on just a second? It's live. All right, so let's get you buckled up, buddy.
Not enough time is money.
Right. Let me buckle myself in.
Alright, friend. You want to take a shot? Okay.
Okay.
Here, check on that.
Yep, nice, good. Oh, we're gonna make the jump to hyperspace. Pull on that.
Okay, nice.
Yep, we got.
You okay?
Press
All right.
the flashing button to make the first thing.
Thank you.
Okay, so you touch this.
Oh, we're gonna make the jump to hyperspace.
Flight engineer, repair test. Hit your flashing button. Only one engineer. I'll do what I can.
Oh, you excited, Nye?
Right, pilot. Push the flashing button to take off.
Pilot, push the flash button.
Pilot on the left. Move your stick to fly right and left. I was just about to say that. Pilot on the right. Go back on the stick to fly out. To fly down. Weapons are online. Left pilot. Hit the boosters. Now let's go get that glass down. Third pilot. Make the jump to light speed. There's the train. Come, Papa. Those heavy guys are protecting the train. Take them out.
Take them out, gunners. Take them out, gunners.
They'll not come to us. Take evasive action.
That button here is blue one. Yes, Nye. Blue button. Oh, that's me. Here it is.
Gunners, we need to defend ourselves. Open fire. Gunners,
Gunners,
blast
go
away.
ahead, Nye. Hit it.
Then it is.
Oh, gotta fix that.
Engineers, fire the outboard. Now, gunners, shoot the cargo.
Shoot it, Nye.
Left pilot, brakes.
Oh.
Oh, my friends, that could have been much worse. Okay, it's much worse.
It's much worse. Oh. Here we go, Nye.
Yes, you got one. Excellent, my friends.
Press those buttons,
Power
Nye.
up the ship. Well, I can go axiom. You see, just as I promised, my friend. Let's get another container of coaxium. Pilots, line up behind the train so we can harpoon that last car. Get behind the train. Flight engineers, fire the harpoons and reel us in.
Now.
Pilots, into the center. Do you see those big white rings? Would you fly to them? Well, it's harder than it looks. Gunship! Oh, that's ridiculous. Things are getting too hot. Get out of there! Yes, a distraction! Fire the missiles at the train! Hurry!
Fire. There you go. Good job. Oh.
It's coming down! Left pilot, hit the boosters! Boost! 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 Let's get out of here! Yes, Chewie will pilot us in remote. You retrieved one container of coaxium. This will greatly help the resistance. You will heard the first order and made Chewie proud. Now, after my modest profit, your cut minus what you owe me for damaging the Falcon is.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that is rough.
Oh, rank scoundrel. What would you get? Oh.
R5, damage report. Engine failure. All right. Hyperdrive leak. That is not too good. Multiple hulls. All right. I'm making an executive decision. Everybody out. Go on, get out.
Right this way, crew. Grab all your gear. Make sure you take all your belongings, please.
There you go. Good job, Nye.
Yeah, when I keep it off.
That was fun.
This is practically
Yeah.
scrap metal.
How did it move?
Oh, you were flying through hyperspace.
Ah, Nye, good job.
Good job, Nye. That way. You like being a gunner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about it. What did you like best? Being a gunner? I was the engineer behind you. I fired some harpoons. And what were you? You were also a gunner?
Also a gunner.
Also a gunner. You guys did well. I was a scoundrel. I caused a lot of damage to the ship.
See, the idea was if you get behind.
All available techs, we have a Culhane freighter that needs immediate transport back to the maintenance bay.
Next time.
This thing has seen better days. Better fix all that before the Wookiee sees it.
So I put my foot on this and my foot on this with my foot. And that's what
We're waiting for Nye. Good job, Nye. There was one point he got scared. What part were you scared of, Nye?
I'm scared that because they suited and then they hit our ship and it was going down and broke down and now it was fixed. Now I was scared of it fall down from the from that it got broke.
Uh-huh. But you recovered pretty well, huh?
Yeah. That was fun.
That was good? Would you go on it again?
Yeah.
You want to keep flying through space?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm going back to that guy that said we're supposed to drive the ship.
Yeah. Look, when we come out, how beautiful the light is. Look at that. There it is, the Millennium Falcon. That's the ship.
I was in there.
Yeah, you were right up in here. Look, if you come over here, I'll show you where you were sitting. You were sitting right there. Remember, you were looking out that window. Yeah, you were sitting out there. Yeah, you were right up in there. And then we took off, and then we came back.
But our ship was broken down.
Well, they're gonna fix it. They're definitely gonna fix it. Go back that way, though. Go back to Mommy that way. I'm getting a picture of you. Yeah. It sustained some damage, but the engineers are gonna repair it. No, there's 2 other rides we can go on. Yeah, I know. We're gonna go on the other rides.
It's a blueberry corn muffin.
We'll see. All right. So as you can see, Nye was super excited by his first ride for a kid over 40 inches. And I think it's a great way to experience the park when you're a 4-year-old and you've just reached that height level. To be in this world of imagination, to be filled with such excitement, hope and promise, and always that little bit of rebellion that kids love so much. Put in the right place, which is against empire, against imperialism, against colonialism, against the legacy of injustice and oppression and exploitation. So we will be able to use this evening here at Moonlight Magic is part of his formal education as he matures into his first school year. He will definitely have something to say to his teachers. Hello, you okay?